friends, we are here again. We meet again for another haul, and I'm a little bit embarrassed, I will say. I keep telling myself I'm done shopping, but basically once a week my husband and I have a date day. We go to the used bookstore and I get gifted books, and it's just like, here we are. I will say it's April 13th or 12th or 12th or 13th. 13th, I think, today. And I've already read 12 books this month, and I've already read over 60 books this year. So at least I've read more books than I'm hauling right now this year. And if we keep at like this pace, then I'm gonna need these books, right? That's what I'm telling myself. But with that being said, we are just gonna jump on into it. The first book is a repurchase of a book. It was $9 at the used bookstore, which is actually a pretty good price because they don't make these covers anymore. They've been republished with like a traditional size. But these, I read them as the short chunky books, and that is Fallout by Ellen Hopkins. Ellen Hopkins was my favorite author when I was in high school, and basically I lent a handful of my books by her to a friend and never got them back, and needless to say, we're no longer friends. But this was the last book I had in my list of books I need to repurchase from Ellen Hopkins, and I found it. And this book on Amazon is like close to $30 because they don't make these like short fat ones anymore. They make the regular sized. So I was really excited to find it and just had to pick it up because I saw it one other time before and I didn't grab it, and then I never saw it again. And so when I came across it again, I was like, okay, we have to pick it up. The next book that I picked up, actually I think both of these books may have been from a YouTube video. I cannot remember the gal's name. She has red hair and she's from the UK, I believe. Pop her up here if I can remember. But she read these and they both sounded really good. I just crumpled up. I think this first one was like $7. And that is If You Tell Me, A True Story of Murder, Family Secrets, and the Unbreakable Bond of Sisterhood by Greg Olson. This is a true story of 3 young girls caught in the web of a coldly calculating killer, their mother. And like right there, the pages of this book are so bright. But that right there is kind of what sold me. And so basically, from what I know, this book is about these sisters, and their mom is like a pretty horrible person, and for years they've been behind the closed doors of their farmhouse, and their mom's kind of like a sadist, and this is a true story. So very intrigued to read that. And then the next book, I don't think the cover will be an issue to show on YouTube, but because it is blurred out. This was $13. It's a hardcover. This is called The Nursery, a novel by Sylvia Molnar. This is the cover that's like the US version, and this is a visceral and revealing portrait of the joy and tumult of new motherhood that reveals how difficult and fragile those postpartum days can be, and how vital love is to pull anyone out of the dark. So yeah, this, from what I gather, is like a woman talking about, like, I'm just gonna do this because I don't want to like get in trouble with YouTube, but her struggles with postpartum. And it sounded very, when the girl read it, she said it was like very hard to get through. And for me, I'm like, sold. Simply, I love a fucked up book. Next, I picked up another book at the used bookstore for $8. I'm just peeling off the sticker. And this is going to be After We Were Stolen by Brooke Bayfuss. And I read Brooke's other book called Before You Found Me per my sister's recommendation while I was on a Disney trip. And that was one of the most haunting. It's so underrated. I think it only has like 1,000 ratings, maybe, on Goodreads. The other one, Before You Found Me. And it was so good. So dark, so sad, so heartbreaking. And I think this is her only other book. And it says, a fire, her escape, and the realization her entire life has been a lie. When 19-year-old Avery awakens to flames consuming her family's remote compound, she knows it's her only chance to escape her father's grueling survival training, bizarre rules, and gruesome punishment. She and her brother Cole flee the grounds for the first time in their life, suddenly homeless in a world they know nothing about. After months of hiding out, they are arrested for shoplifting, and a shocking discovery is made. They were kidnapped 15 years earlier. and they were stolen by cult leaders. So everything about that is right up my alley. Next, we have a fluffy little romance that I also picked up for $8. I just freaking love the used bookstore. It's like treasure hunting. And it's going to be the +1 by Maisie Eddings. I am on a mission to collect all of Maisie's books. I read Late Bloomer earlier this year and fell in love with the writing. And so I have all of these books in the back here. Let me see if in the front. I don't know like what order they're published in, so. Content warning, PTSD from losing patients. There's no like list of other books by her in the front. For those who hurt, those who you've healed, and for those who are somewhere in between, you are worthy of love even on your hardest days. And for the younger me that gets stuck in a bad place, you made it out. Ugh. I've been like judging books based on their dedication. So maybe that's something we should do in my hauls. For my brother Daniel, it's like a whatever. I loved the one for this. The nursery. Just for Ryan, those ones are like whatever. For Nikki, Sam, and Tori, yes. So far, this one's really winning. I have no idea what this is about. I'll just read this little pink part up here. She's not looking to fix him. She's looking to love him, if he'll let her in. So that sounds really cutie. So at the used bookstore for $9, I found Lost and Lassoed. And then this is the third book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. And then book 2 is on sale on Amazon for $7. So I picked both of these up. I did read Done and Dusted, and I'm excited to continue the series. Swift and Saddled is about Ada. I really don't even remember who that is. And then I'm sure one of like the brothers, Weston. This one I'm not like overly excited about. I'm excited for the next one. This book couldn't be dedicated to anyone but you, dear reader, for running alongside me in my dreams. Love. And then this one is about Teddy, and I'm so excited for her story. She's my favorite character in the book. For everyone who got to chapter 3 of Done and Dusted and immediately wanted Gus and Teddy, I'm so happy to finally share their story. Thank you for waiting. So that's really cutie. Then this book I picked up for $9. Did I need this? Absolutely not. Have I read the first book in the series? No. And this is like a cardinal rule for me, is I don't buy the next book in a series until I know I'm going to continue it. But I did pick Hideaway Heart. I have the first book, Runaway Love by Melanie Harlow, but I found the sprayed edge version, and the one I have is the sprayed edge version. So we had to have it. The Enemies to Lovers, Forced Proximity, Small Town Rom-Com from Melanie Harlow. All I wanted was a break. 2 weeks off from being Pixie Heart, country music sensation, and 14 days of peace and privacy and solitude as plain old Kelly Jo Sullivan. But thanks to some overzealous paparazzi, my family refuses to let me go anywhere alone, and I'm stuck sharing this tiny cabin with tall, dark, and bearded bodyguard. Ooh la la. There's a map. I don't read fantasy, so I don't really get maps very often. So that's just like a fun little thing for Catherine, who saw I was a woman in peril and rescued me. That's really cute. This book was gifted to me by my friend's mother-in-law. Me and her both like psychological thrillers, so she handed this off to me. I don't really... This is for fans of Frida McFadden, Kirsten Maudlin, and Daniel Hurst. I've only read Frida books. But Newlyweds, this is so short, barely 200 pages. Newlyweds, Jess and Mark have it all except a place to call their own. Moving into Mark's family house feels like the right step, a temporary solution until they can buy a place. But what should be a cozy interim quickly unravels into something darker. Dun 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 dun. Super cute. Then we have my book of the month for April. I got one book and then I did get an add-on because there was 2 that really struck my fancy. And so my selection, I did not realize there was this like super fun like purple and pink foiling on it, but I picked the Griffin Sisters Greatest Hits by Jennifer Weiner. My link will always be listed down below for book of the month. You can sign up, get your first book I think for $5, and then I get a free book. So I mean, we'll love you forever. So I am a apropos for a book about sisters. Like, let's just start there. And this one is about these sisters. This lady has a super big backlist if I do like it. And it says, the Griffin sisters were the soundtrack of the early 2000s until suddenly they worked. Two sisters bonded by music, divided by fame, silenced by tragedy. Now 20 years later, a new generation will try to reunite them. Can the love between sisters survive the secrets that remain? So I think that sounds amazing. And then this one, I just loved the cover. Like, how cute is this? This is The Passion Project by Lucinda Berry. Oh, the hot pink is just so pretty. So pretty. And the dedication says, Mom, the pigs are flying. That's cute. This is about a girl named Bennett, and she should be living the best years of her life, but she's failing miserably. Emphasis on miserable. In New York City, she has no direction and no energy to find one. When she's set up on a first date with Henry, she drunkenly confesses that she's not ready to love again. In fact, she doesn't feel passion for anything. And he offers to help her, and they do a bunch of stuff together to find her passion project. Very cute. This book was a gift along with another one, so I'd like to find the one that goes with it to show you guys them together. Oh, here it is. So my lovely friend Madison picked up and sent me these two books. One of them was on my wish list. I shorted that off my wish list and then added in another one. And I love her to death. She said that these were both 4.5 5 stars, and she wants to see what I think of them. Love, love, love her. The first one is The Mysterious Case of the Elberton Angels by Janice Hallett. She said this one is a ton of mixed media, and like literally looking at that brings me so much joy. I love mixed media, and it says a missing child, a deadly cult, and a race to discover the truth. I love a book about cults, so that's that. I think I have another book by this author. I have The Christmas Appeal by her. Yeah, I'm very excited for all the mixed media in this. And this one I've never heard of. I love the purple. Purple is always a color that I lack in my bookshelves. Like, you can see the entirety of my purple red books. And my purple 2B red is smaller than my purple 2 red. It's crazy. So this is called Acts of Violet by Margarita Montemore. And nearly a decade ago, Iconic Magician, that's already such a fun like concept, not something you see all the time, performed her greatest trick yet, vanishing mid-act. Though she hasn't been seen since, her hold on the public hasn't wavered. While Violet sought out the spotlight, her sister Sasha, ever the responsible one, took over their mother's salon, built a quiet life for her daughter Quinn. But Sasha can never seem to escape her sister's orbit or her memories of their unresolved, tumultuous relationship. Then there's Cameron Frank, determined to finally get his big break, hosting a podcast devoted to all things Violet, though keeping his job hinges on an exclusive interview with Sasha, who's the last person who will talk to him. It's the 10th anniversary of the performance, and a podcast picks up speed. Oh, is this one also mixed media? It is. Okay. Okay, so it'll be about trying to find out what actually happened and Sasha and Violet's relationship. So I'm excited about that. I got my I am also subscribed to Afterlight, and this is the March subscription. It was delayed in production, which like when I show you the details of this book, you're gonna be like, take as long as you want, sweetie. But it is fan service by Rosie Danan. This is a werewolf romance. He's not a real werewolf. He just plays one on TV. The only place small town outcast Alex Lawson fits in is the online fan forum she built for The Arcane Files, a long-running werewolf detective show. Her dedication to archiving fictional supernatural lore made her internet famous, and even if she harbors a secret disdain for the show's star, Devon Ashwood, never meet your heroes. They're the worst. Ever since the show went off the air, Devon and his career have spiraled, but waking up naked in the woods outside his LA home with no memory of the night before is a new low. It must have been a coincidence that the once-in-a-century wolf blood moon crested that night. The claws, fangs, howling. It's like a werewolf romance, but this is the like traditional cover, and then this is the Afterlight cover, and it is so cute. We've got the spine in the back. It's all silver foiling. Here are the sprayed edges. It is also signed by Rosie. I have read one other book by her. I did have since gotten rid of it because I gifted it to my sister. but it was fine. I read the roommate. Inside cover art, both front and back, and then it's signed, and then this is the naked hardcover, the Arcane Files fan service, and there's the back. And this naked hardcover is so good that I'm just like, yes, please take as much time as you want, because that's so good. And I was really anxious about the idea of a monster romance until I realized that I love My Roommate is a Vampire, and that's technically a monster romance, so maybe I'll enjoy it. Next book I got for $9. It's hardcover, and I'm peeling off the sticker now. It is an Aardvark book. I am not subscribed to Aardvark because they're a Canadian company, and honestly, I tried signing up and my bank flagged it as fraud because it was from a different country. So I don't want to deal with that. So I'm not subscribed to Aardvark for that reason. But I saw this at the used bookstore. Has pretty good reviews, and it's called Unromance by Erin O'Connor, and honestly I just thought that this cover was so fun and unique. A recently dumped TV heartthrob enlists a jaded romance novelist to ruin romance for him, one rom-com trope at a time, so he can never get swept off his feet again. But yeah, it's called Unromance, and I literally bought it. This was like judging a book by the cover. I looked at the cover, and then I looked on Goodreads to make sure it had a decent rating, and then it did, so I picked it up. The next book I got at the used bookstore for $8, and I got this per the recommendation of Kayla, or Books and Lala, and that is Invisible Monsters Remix by Chuck Palahniuk. And this is the author of Fight Club, I believe. I have no interest in reading that, but oh yes, this is the one that has somebody's nursing school notes inside the book. I can take that out. But basically, this, I don't even know what it is about. This doesn't have the synopsis. So basically, the book Invisible Monsters has a different cover. Bing, right here. And originally when Chuck published the book, he wanted it to be written like this, where it was like a non-linear book. And the publishers said no. And so then years later he republished it, hence Remix. And basically in this book, at the end of the chapters, it'll be like, now please jump to chapter whatever, and so you don't read it in order. And I thought that was really fun. Next up, we got another $7 book from the used bookstore. From the used bookstore. Oopsie daisies. There we go. I think this one I may have gotten the suggestion from Beth. And this is called A Killer's Mind by Mike Omar. I believe this is the first in a series. And it says A Killer's Mind is her playground. 3 Chicago women have been found strangled, embalmed, and posed as if they're still alive. Doubting the findings of the local PD's profiler, the FBI calls on a forensic psychologist, Zoe Bentley, to investigate. Do you guys pronounce Z-O-E as Zoe or Zoe? I used to as a kid pronounce it Zoe, but now as an adult, I always pronounce it as Zoe. So let me know. Zoe quickly gets off on the wrong foot with her new partner, Agent Tatum Gray. Zoe's a hunter, intense and focused. Tatum's a smug maverick with little respect for the rules. Together they must descend into the serial killer's psyche and untangle his twisted fantasies, or more women will die. It's giving Criminal Minds, which is why I picked it up. Oh my god, the next book I already read. I read this for my Amazon first reads for March, and that is If Tomorrow Never Comes by Allison Ashley. Obsessed. I am currently now on a mission to collect and read everything that Allison has written, and this is 5 stars, one of my favorite books I've read this year. This is about our main character, Elliot, and she has cancer. She has cancer and it has come back, and she needs to have a stem cell transplant. So the night before her transplant, she wants to go out for the night by herself, just like go get a drink and have one last night of normal before she has to basically be in isolation to make sure she doesn't get sick. And so she goes out, meets this guy, they have a wonderful night together, and she doesn't even tell him her real name. Then a year later, she is healthy and she is moving to the city. She lives in a small town in Nebraska. She's moving to the big city in Omaha to pursue her career of like doing social media for small businesses. And while she's there, she has basically worked out to meet the person who donated their stem cells to her. And then they become friends, they go out, and she finds out that that guy she had that wonderful night with is the donor's boyfriend. Dun 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 dun. It's so good. It made me sob like a baby. Next up for $7. And if you're curious about used bookstore price, I go to half price books because of where I live, but versus traditional like Barnes & Noble versus Amazon, I have two videos in the series of Is Book Thrifting Really Worth It? I could always make more. Let me know if you're interested in that. I did pick up Kennedy Ryan's Before I Let Go. I have heard nothing but amazing things about these books. There are more in the series, but I want to make sure I like the first one before I continue down the road. Their love was supposed to last forever, but well, life delivered blow after devastating blow. Yasmin and Josiah found that love had its limits. It couldn't save their marriage. I've heard that these books tear your heart up, and I'm ready for it. This book got a little bit scuffed in transit, but that's fine. This is Sky Full of Elephants by Sibo Campbell. My friend Christy sent this to me. A bunch of these books she sent to me. It's very interesting that it's all green. I always look at hardcovers as to what the underneath looks like. Do you guys do that, or is that just me? This is a dystopian book where essentially it talks a lot about race, where basically one day all white people walk into the ocean and die. And so now we're left with a world of only black people, and in a world without white people, what does it mean to be black? And I know this is told with, it's like between a dad and a daughter, and the daughter is mixed, and so like half of her family just died. And they don't have much of a relationship. I think he may have been incarcerated, and it's about them rebuilding their relationship. I could be totally off, but Kayla from Books and Lala is obsessed with this, so I'm excited to give her a go. The next three are also from Christy. We have Where the Crawdads Sing. I feel like this book is so beloved by so many people. I want to know, like, what's in the know. I know my sister has tried to read this a lot of times and DNFs it every time she tries. I've never tried, so I'm going to give her a go. She was unhauling it, so she sent it my way. How long can you protect your heart? For years, rumors of Marsh Girl have haunted Barkley Cove, a quiet town in northern Carolina coast. It's late 1969, and handsome Chase Andrews is found dead, and locals immediately suspect Kaya Clark, the so-called Marsh Girl. But Kaya is not what they say. Sensitive and intelligent, she has survived for years alone in the marsh that she calls her home, finding friends in the gulls and lessons in the sand. Then the time comes when she yearns to be touched and loved. When two young men from town become intrigued by her wild beauty, Kaya opens herself to a new life until the unthinkable happens. Sounds really cute. There's like a little embossed dragonfly on the hardcover. Sounds good. Next, this book's so long, and this is All the Colors of the Dark by Chris Whitaker. Chris, my husband, his mom was actually recently asking me about this book, so I'm gonna give it a go, and if I hate it, I think I'll probably send it to her, because I think she said she wanted to read it because she saw him on the news. But so this has so many chapters, 256 chapters. Oh, this is almost a 600-page book. I don't really know what this is about. I think it's like a mystery book. I think it was in the Goodreads choice for that. It's blurbed by both Gillian Flynn and Kristen Hanna, so I'm guessing it's a historical thriller. 1975 is a time of change in America. The Vietnam War has ended. Muhammad Ali is fighting. Joe Frazier. And in small town of Montclair, Missouri, girls are disappearing. When the daughter of a wealthy family is targeted, the most unlikely hero emerges, Patch, a local boy, who saves the girl. In doing so, leaves heartache in his wake. Patch and those who love him soon discover that the line between triumph and tragedy has never been finer, and their search for answers will lead them truths that could mean losing one another. Sounds actually pretty good. Next, we have The Librarianist by Patrick DeWitt. I just love this cover. I think it is so cool. This is a story of Bob Comet, a man who has lived life through and for literature, unaware of that his own experience is a poignant and affecting narration itself. So, got that one. And then the next book I know was suggested by Beth, and this is a YA dystopian book, and I gotta pull off the thing. I paid $15 for it, which you may say for YA is kind of expensive, but I found a special edition of it for $15. So then when you factor that in, It ain't so bad. This is the Fairy Loot edition of Poster Girl by Veronica Roth. Sonia Cantor knows this slogan. She lived by it for most of her, or what's right is right. Sonia Cantor knows this slogan. She's lived with it for most of her life. Everyone in Seattle, Portland lived under it, as well as countless surveillance in the form of the insight and ocular implant that tracked every word and every action, rewarding or punishing by a rigid moral code set forth by the delegation. It's hard to read this because it's like this crinkled paper, but a fallen regime, a missing child, and a chance at freedom. It does have, the edges are sprayed, but only on the edge, which is quite interesting. And then this is obviously, this is the like regular cover, and then this is the cover that I have, because there's that, and then it is printed on the whole hardcover with the eyeball, and it says what's right is right. So, and then I think that this is like a diagram of like the structure of an eye, which is kind of creepy. Next up, this I did not get at Target. I got it at the used bookstore, and it has a freaking stupid ass Target sticker on it, which I hate because the Target stickers don't come off nicely. I feel they come off nicer than Barnes & Noble stickers, but we've got The Wives by Taryn Fisher. This was also recommended by Beth. I agree with pretty much everything she says, so there's that. And from what I remember, there's this guy, and he has like multiple wives, but he just refers to them by like their number, and it sounds fascinating. I've already gone over this book, Unwind. My friend bought the box set of the newer covers and then sent me book 1. So I just replaced my copy with the new cover because I like it better. So there's that. A couple of other books sent my way by Christy. We've got this one. It's called Everything by Nicola Yoon. I hate that this is like a permanent sticker, but this cover is really pretty. My disease is rare as it is famous. Is as rare as it is famous. I'm allergic to the world, but I don't leave my house, have not left my house in 17 years. The only people I ever see are my mom and my nurse. So that sounds amazing. Then she got a new copy, I think, of Us Against You by Frederick Bachman. So she sent me this copy. She got like a different cover. I think that's in the Beartown series. And then she sent me this, which is Snow Globe by So Young Park. And I do want to give it a try because it sounds pretty interesting. It says Hunger Games meets Squid Game. It's a dystopian thriller, so that sounds really up my alley. How far would you go to escape the cold? And like this in-page foiling and then the like naked book are very fascinating and pretty. So I am excited to go. Okay, I think that this may have also been translated. Yes, translated by Jongmin Lee Comfort. But I am excited to give that a go. It's so pretty. Also from Christy is The Garden by Nick Newman. The darkly beautiful, eerie, hypnotic novel about two elderly sisters living alone on the edge of the world. I love a book about sisters, so we've got that. A couple more from her. I'm just trying to like pull out all of the ones that are from her so that we can go into the rest of the ones that I purchased. I think, no, this one too. She's been going through and getting rid of a bunch of books recently that she had duplicates of or that she read and doesn't want to keep the physical copy of. One of them is Sandwich by Catherine Newman. I love it. It's so pretty and I love the title. She said this was really cute, but she just didn't want to keep the copy of it because space is limited. A moving, hilarious story of a family summer vacation full of secrets, lunch, and learning to let go. The End of Loneliness by Benedict Wells. A sweeping novel of love and loss and lives that people have never gotten to live. Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. This is so short. That's why I was like, I'll give it a go. It's only 250 pages. I have one other book by her. I do think that this may be bloody, and so it may freak me out and I won't finish it, but that's that. The Book of Witching by C.J. Cook. A mother must fight for her daughter's life in a fierce and haunting tale of witchcraft and revenge. So we'll see about that. We have got, this one is so cute. The Door to Door Bookstore. Come on, that cover is precious. a charming international bestseller about an unlikely friendship between an elderly door-to-door bookseller and a 9-year-old girl. Like, that trope of like a super old grumpy man and like a fun, happy young kid is so good to me. This looks terrifying. This is called Withered by AGA Wilmot. Yeah, this looks really creepy, so I'm excited to give that a go. And then she wants me to read this because she loved it, and it is The Invisible Life of Addie Laroo by V.E. Schwab. I've never read anything from V.E. Schwab, so we'll see how it goes. This may actually also be from her. It's Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. I read Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney and loathed it. I gave it 2 stars and I thought it sucked. So I am nervous, but she said this was really good and to give it a try. And I do love like the hollow foiling on the cover. Okay, I picked this up because it was on sale for like $5 on Amazon, and this is Midnight is the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winstead. I read The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead, gave it 5 stars in the beginning of the year. It was my January book club pick. So I was excited for another Ashley Winstead. It says a killer haunts a small town, and 2 outcasts, the preacher's daughter and the boy from the wrong side of the tracks, hold the key to uncovering the truth. I've been on a mission of collecting Lucinda Berry books, and there was a period where like a bunch of them went on super sale for like $6 on Amazon, and then I picked up one for $8 at, this is the one I picked up at the used bookstore for $8. You keep your friends close. These are all very like popcorn thrillers, but Lucinda Berry I'm pretty sure has a psychology degree, so they're more accurate. A Mom's Night Out goes horribly wrong. We've got Under Her Care. When a child is accused of murder, his mother will do anything to protect him. Super cool with the crown on the cover. This cover's hideous. The Secret of Us. Loyalty is a form of madness. And then The Best of Friends. They were living a dream until it became a nightmare. So those are just like good books I like to have on hand for if I'm in a reading slump, you know. We have one non-book item that I did get at the used bookstore. Basically, me and Chris, my husband, talk about like what games, like video games, shaped our childhood. Like when you think of games you like played on and what consoles you played as a kid, what are they? And for me, my go-to game that I always mention, I need to like Google on the cover of this, which I will, and then I'm gonna get a like plate stand to display this. Like they did give me the game, and Chris said that our PlayStation 5 I should be able to play this in. I played it originally, like I had this for $4 on GameCube as a kid, but it is Mary Kate and Ashley, my Super Sweet 16, or my Sweet 16 License to Drive. It's basically like Mario Party but Mary Kate and Ashley themed. We have a couple of new releases that I picked up. I did pick up Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I feel like I've been seeing this get very mixed reviews. Oh, I forgot I got some stickers in here. I also got this sticker that says women don't owe you shit, because we don't. And then shop small and women owned. Forgot to pick those up, but I've been hearing mixed reviews about this. I really don't know what it's about. I just know that Abby Jimenez could write me the phone book and I would read it. Okay? And I did pick up Summer in the City. I personally, hopefully this Barnes & Noble exclusive edition sticker comes off. I mean, regardless, again, I have Goop on, and that will get any remnants off. Yeah, I knew it was going to leave a residue. I just knew it. I could just tell. I would be able to just rub it away because of the texture of this cover. Okay. So I picked up Summer in the City, the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, which comes with these edges. These were my favorite because it very much so gives New York City with the taxis. And then the inside of this one is pink, and it does have the Barnes & Noble on the map. And I've heard really good things about that. Then I picked up this book and Say You'll Remember Me. I picked up from a small bookstore back in New York when I went home for my grandma's funeral. And they had an overstock of this book, so it was 20% off. So it was only like $15, which was the same price on Amazon. This is the new Lucy Score, Story of Your Life. of my life. What's more inspiring to a rom-com author than a hot, grumpy contractor literally knocking down walls? Oh my god. Okay. I don't know who owned this book, and I did not realize that it had this weird tape over the cover until after I got home with it, okay? So we are just accepting that it's kind of scuffed. And I picked up Coach by Devoney Perry, which this is like a sports romance, which I do really like. Football star, single dad, and Once a Long Time Ago, Mine. So I did pick that up. Is this bitch the person who wrote Indigo Ridge? Yeah. So I'm excited to give it a go. Then I picked up for $8 I found one of Miss Allison Ashley's books at the used bookstore. Had to pick it up because again, I'm collecting all of them. And this is Would You Rather, and I don't know if it's like a runaway bride situation or what, because she's in a wedding dress. Would you rather play it safe or in the friend zone? And in the friend zone or risk it all with a modern, oh, it's Marriage of Convenience. Okay. I don't know if I've ever read Marriage of Convenience, so I'm excited. Only 5 more, guys. This one I have already read and loved, this whole series, but I found this, and I think somebody put it in the wrong section to maybe try to like hide it, but I found it, and it was only $8. This, my friends, is one of my most prized possessions. This is a first edition signed copy hardback of The Naturals. We've got the signature there, Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and then right there by my finger, first edition. And when I found that, I nearly pooped my pants. Next, I also got this. Half Price Books does sell new books, and they're like slightly discounted from the price on the back. So this is a brand new paperback, and I got it for $15 instead of like $19 or whatever. And it is Carara Baston's Promise Me Sunshine. I have heard that this will like rip your heart out, and it deals a lot with loss, and as somebody who has experienced a lot of loss in their life, I love a book about loss. One Day in December by Josie Silver. I also think that this is pretty sad, the Sad Christmas book, so we have that. And then 2 more. Next, for $9, I was able to get a hardcover copy of the second book in the Bird Box series called Mallerie, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I loved Bird Box. I gave it a 4 and loved it, so I am excited to continue on. And then finally, also for $9, I got From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata. I'm about to be starting probably tomorrow my second Mariana Zapata. I have read All Roads Lead Here. I'm about to read The Wall of Winnipeg in Me, and I'm excited to keep going down this slow burn romance journey with Miss Mariana. That's everything, guys. This book video was way too long, but thank you for watching. Let me know if you've read any of these, what you think, and I will talk to you next time.